Twice, you just reminded me. We're in Shaar Aleph, Perek Yud Zayin, and want to bring something esoteric. Reb Chaim Volozhin brings something esoteric, very down to earth, literally down to earth. But just let me remind you that he spoke about the fact that the way the world works, the way life works, vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim, the way life works that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blows into our nostrils, is through a system. Vayipach ba'apav nishmas chayim is through a system of nefesh, ruach, neshama. And neshama is lashon of neshima. HaKadosh Baruch Hu breathes. Comes down through the ruach and into our nefesh. Spoke about this already for weeks. The mashal of the glass blower, many mashalim. So this idea of is to line up, to align our nefesh with the ruach and with the neshama, which is hard to figure out exactly how to do this, but it's understanding that it's all about catching the ruach. In other words, like if the glass blower is blowing into the pipe and the sand or material is not at the end of the pipe, so where did that ruach go? It becomes a ruach. It's just a ruach, you know. When Moshe Rabbeinu appointed the Zakanim, it says, "Vayotzel min haruach." That the ruach that came normally to Moshe Rabbeinu, he spread out that ruach. Sometimes a person could have a ruach shtus. So it's all about lining up to the correct ruach. So that's the nefesh, ruach, neshama, which I want to understand a little bit more about. But here we are. That first he tells us that the ruach Hashem goes through the oilamos of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, and the top of every oilam hooks onto the bottom of the oilam below it. And in every oilam of Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, there are 10 spheros. In fact, everything in the Bria has 10 spheros in it. Everything, table, 10 spheros. Every person has 10 spheros. That's the recipe of the Bria is 10 spheros. Everything comes down. So the idea is, just in a little bit more detail, what we spoke about a minute ago, is that the top, what our job is, the top of our world, the world of Asiya, the world of Maisa, has to hook in to the bottom of the world of Bria, Yetzira, and that has to hook into the world of Bria, into the world of Atzilus, until you get to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So it's all about, life is all about catching the Ruach of Hashem. Ruach kadshecha al tikach mimeni. Don't move away. That it's like moving away somebody's oxygen pipe when they need oxygen so badly. You can live. There are other ways to live. You can live like a parasite. You can live off the sitra achra. But the correct way to live, the healthy way to live, the spiritual way to live, spiritual ruchnius, so is coming through this pipe. And then he tells us, V'chein hu ha'inyan begimel ha'bechinois naran shel ha'adam. And the same thing works. Now that he spoke about the Elamas, he goes back to what we know more about, which is the nefesh, ruach, neshama v'adam. Ki kol bechina midavar shebekdusha kolo mi'eser bechinois pratim. Understand, says the Nefesh Hachaim, that every single part, thank you very much, every single part of the person, or every single part of davar shebekdusha, comes in 10. There's always 10 parts to it. Shehem ha'eser spheres shaloi. Everything has eser spheres. V'abachina el yoyna shel ha'nefesh. So we start off with the nefesh. Hanachezes umiskasheres im ha'bachina ha'tachtoina ha'asiri shel bachinas ha'ruach. That climb, the nefesh has to hook up with the ruach. Ubachina el yoyna shel ha'ruach miskasheres im bachina ha'tachtoina shel ha'neshama. Right, you with me? So we keep on going up. By being aligned, we keep on going up. And remember that it's all about getting the Vayipach Ba'apav Nishmas Chaim, probably the most important pasuk in Bereshis from a human point of view. You want the wind to work. Soid Knesset Yisrael, ultimately we are hooking all the way up to the highest place, which is the highest place we can go, which is Soid Knesset Yisrael. There's a concept in Kabbalah of Neshama HaKloli. Neshama HaKloli means, which is also, Neshama HaKloli equals Knesset Yisrael. That's what Knesset Yisrael means. It means that there's one Neshama in Shamayim, which is Knesset Yisrael, like the Knesset, but a little bit different. It's Knesset Yisrael, where there's a kinus of all of the neshamas. Then from there it breaks up into all of our individual neshamas. But what we're trying to do is hook up to the site Knesset Yisrael, where there is Achdus Shleima.
So is there a step one for going?
Knesset Yisrael. No higher than that. It divides up Jews and Goy. Knesset Hachaim, Knesset Yisrael. Shehi Sharish HaKnesia Shel Kol HaNeshamas Klal Yisrael Yachad. That's where you have a kinus of all the neshamas. V'chein al derech zeh gam b'chinas sharish haneshama. And with this we need to understand the sharish haneshama. A person has to figure out what their own individuality is. That's only by hooking up with the ruach and the neshama and figuring out where was my piece, where did I divide from. Gam kein miskasheres l'malo mimadrega l'madrega ad atzmus ein soif baruch hu. Don't think, as he says a long time ago, he keeps on saying that the atzmus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is here. We're not walking around with God inside of us. We're walking around with a nefesh, which ties up to the ruach, which ties up higher and higher and higher to the neshama. Atzmus ein soif baruch hu. V'zehu she'amru Avigail l'David, and this is what Avigail said to David, V'hoisa nefesh adoinit tzrura b'tzror hachaim es Hashem alekecha. We write it on every cover. Tov nun sadik beis hey teinish masay tzror b'tzror hachaim. Let there be, in simple words, let there be a hookup, an alignment between this nefesh, hey nishmasay tzror, it should go all the way up to his neshama, and it should be tzror b'tzror hachaim.
Here the pasuk says nefesh.
Right, it starts with nefesh, right? Because he's talking about he was alive. He said nefesh adoini tzrura b'tzrur hachayim es Hashem alekecha. That's exactly the proof text. Then it starts with nefesh.
Tzrura is like a chain over here. It's like
yes, tzrura is a chain. Ratzolaimer shigam mechinas nafshoy tistabe kivyachol ba yisbarach shmai. That my nefesh, like David HaMelech, a nefesh was tied up all the way to the top. See, I want to speak a little bit about alignment and its practical terms. There's a Gemara.
What is this Reish Lamed in the paragraph here? What is this? What's Rahman al-Islam?
That's a Laimar.
Right.
Rahman al-Islam. Look at this great Gemara that I think Shweki made famous. It's a saying of the Gemara, Yava Yedid, right? Yava Yedid, Ben Yedid, Yadid, Yavi Yadid, Ben Yadid, V'yivne Yadid, Li Yadid, B'chalka Shel Yadid, V'yischapru Ba Yadid. It's not a pasuk, it's a Gemara. It's a Gemara. Saying of Chazal. It's a beautiful saying of Chazal. Yava Yedid. Everybody knows it by heart? Say Yava Yedid, Ben Yedid. There's a couple of them on it. It's a great Google Hillel Peli Yava Yedid. Beautiful nigga. Yava Yedid, Ben Yedid, V'yivna Yedid, Li Yedid, B'chalka Shel Yedid, V'yischapru Ba Yedid. What in the world is talking about? So the Gemara says, the Gemara explains itself. Why do we have such an expression? What does it mean? Yava Yedid, Ben Yedid. The Yedid is what? A beloved one. Yedid is a beloved one. Ben Yedid, who is the son of the beloved one. V'yivna Yedid, and he should build a beloved thing. Li Yedid, for Yedid, B'chalka Shel Yedid. These kapar by Yedidim and all of the Yedidim, which is Klal Yisrael, should have a kapar. Says the Gemara. What do we mean? Yava Yedid ze Shlomo HaMelech. T'chsiva Yishlach b'Anos and Anavi v'Yikra Shema Yedid Ya. Shlomo HaMelech had a name Yedid Ya, Yedid of Hashem. Ben Yedid, who's Shlomo's father? Ze Avraham. T'chsiv Mel Yedidi Bevesi. Yirmiyahu talked about Avraham, he said, Ma'ala Yedid v'Vesi. Shlomo ben Avraham Avinu. V'yivna Yedid. What's it talking about? Should build the Beis HaMikdash. Yivna Yedid ze Beis HaMikdash. How do we know that? It says in Tehillim, Pei Daled, Ma Yedidois Mishkanaisecha Hashem Tzvakos. Ma Yedidois Mishkanaisecha. Your Mishkan is Yedid. To build the Beis HaMikdash, Li Yedid. Li Yedid ze HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says the Gemara, this is Menachos Nun Gimel. Yitziv Ashira Na Li Yedidi, and where should the Beis HaMikdash be built? Bechelkoi Shel Yedid, Ze Binyamin, Dichsiv LeBinyamin Amar Yedid Hashem. V'yischapru ba Yedidim Elu Yisrael, Dichsiv Dasati Es Yedidus Nafshi B'chaf Oivecha. So therefore Chazal in short used to say, Yava Yedid ben Yedid v'yivna Yedid li Yedid b'chalka shel Yedid v'yischaper ba Yedidim. Well, everyone must memorize that for homework.
Where does this come on?
Menachos Nun Gimel Amud Beis. Yava Yedid ben Yedid v'yivna Yedid. So what do we see from here? That Shlomo HaMelech was called the Yedid, Avraham Avinu was called the Yedid, the Beis HaMikdash was called the Yedid, Binyamin was called the Yedid, the Beis HaMikdash, right? These are the Yedidim. What's the pshat? A Yedid, Chazal explained in a different place. Yedid is Yad B'Yad, like we're holding hands. Yad, Yedid. Yad is 14. Yad is 14. And B'Yachad you have 28, which is Koach. So we go hand in hand, it's Koach. But
David is also.
David is Koach. They talk about the Yad. So the Yad means, when we talk about the Yad, we're talking about the ultimate articulation of this whole chain as it applies into this world. Mitzvahs, Yadayim. You're putting on tefillin, you're putting up a mezuzah, you're giving tzedakah. It's Yadayim. The actual physical manifestation, if you will, the lowest level, which is of course the highest level, is with the Yadayim. The Yadayim means that I'm actually taking something which is very, very high and very, very esoteric, and I'm not just like breathing it into myself, and feeling spiritual. It goes all the way down to my hands, which means my Maisa Yadayim. I'm doing something with my hands. So that's why it's so important that that in this whole chain, or this whole pipe, it's aligned not just to me, to my nefesh, but to the place of Malchus, which is the place of Yadayim, or Yadayim is actually Kabbalistically Netzach. From there goes Yesod, Mori, and Malchus. So that's the. So you took a sandik. I was a sandik a couple of days ago, and it was interesting. I was thinking about the skula of being a sandik. It's a tremendous thing to be a sandik. If you're a sandik, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers all your tefillos, and you have a koach habracha. And just because of our learning in Nefesh Hachaim, when the Moel Mumcha or Moshe says to me, "Put your hands here," they always do the same thing. They're always nervous that the baby's going to move his knees. So put your hands here, and I'm thinking to myself, putting my hands here is samach yadav on the korban, and the baby is considered a korban in this case, and the sandik is considered the mizbeach. The mizbeach has to come from the adama, or from the choshis, has to come from gashmius, and with your yadayim, you're putting your yadayim on the korban. And what actually happens is, now with my yadayim, I'm created continuity. I created a circuit which is going all the way to the nefesh. I'm using the whole nefesh here as a korban, and that's what happens every time somebody brings a korban. You bring a korban. That's what a korban is. Why do you bring a korban? A korban is that you're doing b'maisi yadayim. You're hooking up to the nefesh, to the ruach. That's why the smoke has to go up, go straight up. Nefesh, the ruach, going to the neshama, and I'm connecting with HaKadosh Baruch Hu ki yedid, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is putting his yad this way, yad Hashem, and you're putting your yad this way, and you made the connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So obviously, nischapru like kol avernaisav, obviously all kol tefilaisav nenois, if you can do this, obviously your brachas are brachas, because you are the one now who's become the yadayim ala korban. Just like the kohen would give brachas when he finished bringing doing the avodah, he would give brachas because he had just been zocha, hopefully, to connect with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this way. So I understood that at this moment, which is the regesh that I had, a moment of Sadakais, for instance, one becomes a Yedid Hashem. So you understand that, for instance, the Kohanim, when they're Oilul Duchan, Duchan is the stage that they go on, the steps of Oilul Duchan to be Mevarach Ha'am, Duchaning. When they're Oilul Duchan, so it has to be the Prisas Yadayim. What they do exactly is not even as important as that their hands, Su Yadechem Kodesh Uvarach Hashem, that they have to have their hands out. Why? Because it's all about the bracha. The hands are where the bracha manifests itself into this world. Maisa Yadayim. Look, it's very sensible. It's not just Kabbalah. This is like, if at the end of the day we're great philosophers and great spiritualists and we have great spiritual thought, we even daven with a lot of kavanah, but you don't do the right thing. So what did you do? Like, if it doesn't come all the way to the yadayim. So what do we do? So like at the end of the day, you could think about giving tzedakah from today till tomorrow, but or for the rest of your life, as many people do. But if you don't actually, noisei yad to the ani, then how do you stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be noisei by ne'ilah, and say HaKadosh Baruch Hu should be noisei yad ani? We're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the idea here is you did. So you did, the koyach, if you will, of this world, the koach of this world, is to connect yad liyad. That's the koach. It's just such an important thing. So the Kohanim do this. Do you know, by the way, that I saw in the sefer the Revel Yalapian, Sefer Tzadik Levracha, great Tzadik, Revel Yalapian. So when he would stand by Birchas Kohanim, he put his hands up. He always put his hands out. It was a special hanhaga of Revel Yalapian that many of his close Talmidim do. At least I heard that the Talmidim Revel Yalapian on Yomim Nairoim, they put their hands out. The idea is, if Hashem spreads his hands out through the Kohanim, and the Kohanim have to have that kavanah, and then you spread your hands out, so you did. Excuse my vernacular, but you're holding hands with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Like it's yad.
Do you know how you used to do it? I mean, do this.
Like this. Like you're being makabel. Like you're being makabel. That's what it says. Verse.
I think the Rebbe alluded briefly to it, but I think the Gemara here seems to suggest that the Yadayim is a connection point through Malchus, but there's an upper connection point also. Kiviyachol Hashem Yisbarach is passing down through Yadayim. The Gemara calls Hashem Yisbarach Yedid. You see, Poseach es Yodecha.
Okay. I didn't allude to it. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. So, let's think about it. Do you know? By the way, something that always bugs me, but the Moshe Rabbeinu davened. He picked his hands up. Chibiyadav shel Moshe oises milchama. Frank the Gemara Mishnah, right? Yadav shel Moshe oises milchama. So what if he picked his hands up? The Mishnah's answer is the right answer, but it's a pashut pshat that he picked his hands up to connect. Chai Yisrael to Avinu Shabashamayim. Everyone connects to Moshe. It all goes through the Yadayim. And Bizman Gemara, early Gemara. So whenever Jews daven, they daven the priestess kapayim. They would daven with their hands up. We stopped doing this because the Christians do it. I hate when we stop doing good things because the Christians do it. Yeah. It's a good thing they don't believe in God. Become us. That's why we don't do. That's why we don't kneel when we daven. But Christians do it. But it's maybe once in a while you sneak your hands up there because if you're davening the precepts kapayim, ad kedei kach that when Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were up, they were winning the war. When he got tired, Moshe Rabbeinu got tired too. When he got tired and his hands came down, so they stopped winning the war. And they had to hold up his hands. It was important to hold up his hands. So we say, Poseches yodecha, Hashem, Poseches yodecha, umasbia l'chol chai ratzain. Now we learned the other day that the highest place in this whole chain of events that you get to is Keser. And Keser equals Ratzon. That's what we learned. Which is, again, only logical. What's the Ratzon Hashem? The Ratzon Hashem, meaning what you want to connect to, is it just so terrible if somebody feels they're doing everything k'halacha and they're not connecting to the Ratzon Hashem? See it all the time. Sometimes you can say to yourself, I want to, sometimes if I allow myself to say myself, like, can this possibly be the Ratzon Hashem? Can it possibly be the Ratzon Hashem? If it means can beating up soldiers be the Ratzon Hashem? I just wonder about that. Like, can that be the Ratzon Hashem? I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying, like, it doesn't. Or did we lose the path? I'm just giving an example from the news, but I'm just saying there's so many different. Can it be the Ratzon Hashem to steal? On the other hand, there's such a thing as Aver Lishma. So Aver Lishma means that sometimes, we just learned about it, sometimes you can tap into the Ratzon. There's such a thing as tapping into the Ratzon and not even doing the halacha. Sometimes that's the right thing also. So it's that you have to be careful about it. But there's such a thing as Gadol Aver Lishma. Mitzvah Shalai Lishma. There's such a thing as an Aver Lishma. So an Aver Lishma means that you're tapping into the Ratzon Hashem. So Yaakov Avinu understood that the Ratzon Hashem is for me to marry Rachel and Leah. We saw the Yud Beis Shvatim.
So I didn't understand that when we say God on Mitzvah and we change it to Voice, surely somebody who's not Mitzvah and does it, he's doing because it's the Ratzon Hashem, it's connected into that. Why do we say that when you have Mitzvah?
How can you compare somebody who's connecting to the Ratzon to somebody who's got it all lined up all the way down here? Mitzvah Voice. So the only thing that Aver Lishma is Gadol is mitzvah Shalai Lishma. So you can do a mitzvah, it's not bigger than a mitzvah Lishma. The mitzvah Shalai Lishma is I'm doing, but I'm garnished connected. I'm not connected to anything. What am I connected to? So the ideal here is a mitzvah Lishma. You're doing a mitzvah Voice. So I'm bringing it all the way down to my Yadayim. Yeah. So here we have Yava Yedid. So Shlomo HaMelech was called a Yedid. What does it mean? He was connected. He had connections, right? Yava Yedid, Ben Yedid. Yava Yedid ze Shlomo HaMelech tichsiv vayishlach biyad nasan hanavi vayikra shema Yedid Ya Bavor Hashem. He wasn't just a Yedid. Shlomo HaMelech, good guy. Yedid Ya, his Yad. He was Yad B'Yad with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ben Yedid, David HaMelech is an interesting one, he's left out of this saying, but Ze Avram, Yisiv Me Liyedidi Bevesi. You see what else is called Yedid? Yedidus Menuchasech. Shabbos is a Yedid. It's not in the song. Ma Yedidus Menuchasech. Shabbos is a connection. Any Yedid refers to every connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Yedid means. Mali Yedidi Bevesi. So Avraham Avinu did it all the way.
And it's Yad B'Yad into well beyond the Masi Yadayim. I'm saying the whole concept of, if I'm understanding correctly, the Sino, so to speak, is
Ultimately, my yad is reaching Hashem's yad through this whole scene. So I told you a story once that I went to speak. Twice I did, but once I went to speak to Rav Shach, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. I didn't have a kesher with Rav Shach, but I had to speak to him about something. Rav Shach was known as a powerful, somebody said to a Rosh Yeshiva, can I make the bracha of that you make on a tzaddik when I see Rav Shach? He says, I'm not sure, but you can make shekaycha yugvarasay malayoid. You can make a bracha on thunder, So you're so afraid to speak to. I was afraid to speak to Rav Shach. He was old. He was 102, 103. But I went to ask him about a career choice that I had to make, and I said to him what I had to say, and the whole time he was holding my hand. He was like holding my hand the whole time. It was very unusual. Just from the second I walked in, he was holding my hand with the chavivus, and that he fell sound asleep. And then right after I asked him the question, he was sound asleep and holding my hand. And first I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So then the gabbai walked by. What am I supposed to do? He told me just stay. So he was holding my hand, but I remember just thinking at the time, hanoisen yad la poishim, like this somehow felt like it was like a moment of being in the Beis Hamikdash or something, And
the story you told us about the tsunami also. That he was going under the
Victor Ran.
Rescue pulled away.
Rav Shach woke up and he said, "Yes, do it." That was it was like a connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So yad biyad, there's sometimes you could hook up to the yad of a tzaddik maybe, but Shabbos is a yad. V'yivna yadid, and the Beis Hamikdash is a yad. The Beis Hamikdash is Yadid because the Beis Hamikdash is the connection place between this world and Hashem's world. So that's again the Yadid, Zeh Beis Hamikdash. T'chsiv ma Yadidos Mishkaneisecha. Li Yadid, the ultimate Li Yadid, Zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu. T'chsiv Ashira Na Li Yadidi Bechalkoi Shel Yadid Zeh Binyamin. That the Beis Hamikdash has to be in Yerushalayim. T'chsiv, and this is what Moshe Rabbeinu said to Binyamin, to Shevet Binyamin. He said to them, every something to different now, but he said to Binyamin, and so interesting, Binyamin, we spoke about it in the first Shabbos Shaar a couple of weeks ago, Yedid Hashem. Binyamin, Yosef needed Binyamin to be there because Binyamin was the Yedid Hashem. He was the Yad. He was the Yad. Why was he the Yad? Because he had no kesher with the Mechiras Yosef. He had no kesher with the Mechiras Yosef. He was the Yad. And from him can come out the Yerushalayim, Shleimus. And then, of course, the most important one is V'yischapru bo Yedidim. Who gets the kapara from all this? The Mizbeach, who's the Yedidim, the Elu Yisrael. D'chsiv nasati es Yedidus nafshi b'chaf oiveha. So we become a Yedid Hashem. Yedid Hashem. Like Binyamin. Through the Beis Hamikdash, through Karbanos, the kapara. So kapara, and as Nefesh Hachaim said a couple of pages ago, that tshuva is all about hooking up. V'chein hu inyan tshuva is hooking up the nefesh with the ruach, with the neshama. It's all you did. So let's say Yoni says, Yedid Nefesh. Let's just be mavarish for a second. Who wrote the Yedid Nefesh? Yedid Nefesh. No. Huh? No. No. The Charedim. Lived in Tzfas, Talmud of the Beis Yosef. Azkari. His name was Azkari. Yedid Nefesh. Unbelievable words. Her was when I was still in Buffalo, New York, so we used to say Yedid Nefesh Shal Shidduch, like everybody things Yedid Nefesh Shel Shidduch. So there was this guy who'd never been to anything Jewish in his life. So he's sitting next to me. We used to sing nicely. The Oilam used to sing nicely. So Shel Shidduch. So I put the art scroll sitter or something in front of him. So here's where we are. And he's reading the English of Yedid Nefesh, and he pulls on my arm, sitting right next to me, the shoulder, and he says, "This guy was on something good." Like I want what he's taking, you know. Like Yedid Nefesh. We're talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What a word. We're calling HaKadosh Baruch Hu a Yedid Nefesh of Harachama. Now look at the words. M'shoich Avdecha El Ritzaynecha. Right? M'shoich Avdecha, connect me up, pull me up. El Ritzaynecha, which is Keser. So Ratzon zu Keser. So Yedid, okay, we're Yedid. This is the Nigun. Yedid Nefesh of Harachman, M'shoich Avdecha El Ritzaynecha, pull me all the way up to your Ratzon. Let's go further. Yarutz Avdecha Kamoy Ayol. Let's just be Mavarish already. Ishtachave El Heichal Kodshecha. He says, I'm running like an ayol. An ayol is talking about the pasuk Ayol Taroi Alafikei Mayim. Rashi says that if you go to the desert, there are certain fast waters, afikim, kafikim banegev, afikei mayim. Afikei mayim means if you go to the desert, this is a phenomenon to see even right here in the Midbar, in the Negev. You see that it's completely dry, and then there's a downpour of rain. And the water is, the sand is so hot and so dry that it's like water falling on a blech, and it all goes to the lowest place. And then you have all of a sudden, Afikim Banegev, you have these huge lakes. They don't last very long. We have these huge lakes in the desert. This is a natural phenomenon. Those are called Afikei Mayim, Afikim Banegev, and an ayol, the gazelle. So it knows exactly where these places are, and it knows it can get some water. It knows where it is because animals are smart, and it runs like a gazelle to the Afikei Mayim, and then Rashi says, and the water's already dried up. Ka'ayol tareg al Afikei Mayim kein nafshi sareg elecha Elokim. It's all. This is the regesh. So the Payat says Yedid Nefesh Avarachman M'shoich Avdecha El Ritzaynecha Yerav Yorutz Avdecha K'may Ayol Ishtachave Amol Hadarecha. And at the end we say, I wish I had a sitter yet. Yeah. Right there. How does the whole thing? Yerav loy. Let's just go through it. Yerav loy yedidoi secha. Yerav loy yedidoi secha. Make sweet for him, me, to have it. Yedidoi secha. Your yedidus yad b'yad.
Yerav loy sweet.
Yeah.
Or mixed in.
No, it's also mixed in, but it means Yerav loy means sweet tam arev. Yerav la yedidai secha, and it should be, listen to these words, minoifes tzuf, v'chol tam, like the dripping of honey, minoifes tzuf, like the dripping of honey that's coming down, and just this sweetness is coming into my life. Minoifes tzuf v'chol tam. Well, so this is the kavanah of Yedid Nefesh, is the kavanah of hooking up. I so much want to hook up to the Yad of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I so much want to be a Yedid Hashem, like Binyamin, like Shlomo, like Avraham Avinu, like the Beis HaMikdash, like Shabbos. That's why I sing on Shabbos, because my Yedidus Menucha Sech, that the Menucha of Shabbos is also a connectivity to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And I'm hooking up by this, my Nefesh, Ruach, and Neshama. And this is where I say, Poseach es Yadecha u'maspia l'chol chai ratzayim. So the minig by the Sfardim is that they're picking up their hands which apparently comes from a very, very long time ago. But again, because we stopped davening the precess kapayim, so maybe we stopped doing that also, I think. But the minig is, I don't know, it's not so bad. The minig is Ben Ish Chai brings it, and the Haf Chaim they bring it from early sources, that when you say Poiseach es Yadecha, we're hooking up our Yadayim to his Yadayim, Poiseach es Yadecha, and therefore, by the way, you say that also in benching, or Poiseach es Yadecha Masbiel L'chol Chai, Ratzain. And what's Ratzain? Keser. So Masbiel L'chol Chai, Ratzain, that from your Ratzain comes down the bracha in TorahLab. If you want everyone to do it, you can tell them that it's a school for Parnasa. That always gets everybody, but it is a school. It's a school for, okay. I'm in. What?
There's Ma'aseh Tzadikim, like the Baal Shem Tov and this, that they ask, how do I get a refuah for my baby, my kid, whatever? So they say, refuah, you need refuah? Oh, so you have kavanah during benching of Shalosh Shivas. So because it's
Yad, you need nefesh.
Yeah. So it's because that's the alignment time. And if
alignment time.
Refuah's maves is from chait, and you need to chait means you need tshuva. Tshuva is the realignment.
Shmuel such Torah. It's gewaldic. So the Shalshudas is the alignment time. Shabbos is the alignment time. Ma'yididus menuchaseich, and so there's so much.
Shabbos is tshuva also.
Yeah, there's so much, but it's all about. There's so much to say. So the Goin says that just similarly, like Yehudim Haisa Oira v'Simcha v'Sasain b'Ikar, and then we add Kain Tia Lanu. So the Goin says like Yehudim Haisa Oira v'Simcha v'Sasain b'Ikar. It comes through the Arba Elamis. But Kain Tia Lanu is the same gematria as Elokim, 86. So Kain Tia Lanu, let it come mamish into this world. Let the bracha come mamish into this world. Kain Tia Lanu should also be a Lanu. Lanu, Elokim is the Bereshis Bar Elokim. Elokim is the as far as it goes. In Malchus goes through the name of Elokim. So Poseach es Yadecha, you pick up your hands. Umaspia l'chol chai ratzain, and you bring the bracha straight through into our lives. It comes out in bracha. So this is the pshat in Korbanos. This is the pshat in Shabbos. This is the pshat in the Beis Hamikdash. This is the pshat in the Mizbeach. This is the pshat in Poseach es Yadecha. That's why we say it in benching, because the bracha kamor Poseach es Yadecha maspia. It's all about hooking from ratzain to yadayim. And this is the pshat in Birchas Kohanim, and this is the pshat in davening with your hands up, and that's the pshat in putting out your kapayim when you're hearing the bracha. And this is the pshat in Yaakov Avinu, shesikel es yadav. Chazal say that he should nasan seichel liyadav. Sikel, it's not shikel like anybody like ours. Sikel es yadav, like he gave seichel to his hands. He understood that the bracha that's coming is a bracha that's coming down with seichel, and I have to be very careful how I put my hands. Yadati b'ni yadati. I know what I'm doing with my yad yamin. I know what I'm doing with my yad small. Yaakov Avinu knew these things. He knew these things. And sikal es yadav. He knew exactly where to put his hands and what to put your hands. I went to mention this, that I think it's a story of one of the, could be the Rebbe Berel Wein of Luzhensk. So there's a story where he used to say with like a lot of kavanah, he used to say it over and over again, many times. In benching, he used to say, not al yidei manas basar b'dam, lo yidei avasam kim liyodcha amleya avsucha, lo yidei manas basar, lo yidei avasam. So his daughter was once watching a bench. He said this over and over again. So then he said, Abba, you're ruining our whole parnasa. Our whole parnasa comes from the tzibur. If you don't want to get parnasa from anybody, so what are you a rebbe for? Lo yidei manas basar b'dam, lo yidei avasam. You don't want a hava, I don't want a matana. It goes like, if it's ask me, I want matanas, I want havas. So it was like, I don't want to keep liyotcha amleya psucha akdosha. So you see, the Rebbe explained to his daughter, I think it was the Rebbe Berel Wein, he said, look, you have parnasa. A person has parnasa. You can get parnasa through the hand of Hashem, and it comes through the pipe of Tahara all the way through. Or you could get your parnasa from like a Sitra Achra, you could get your parnasa from a different side. And I'm asking, Kim liyadcha, Hableya, Hapsucha, Paisei Chasedecha, Hakdoisha v'harchava, that anything that anybody gives me to build my base medrash, to build, there should not be a drop of gezel involved. There should be a drop of lashon hara involved. There shouldn't be a drop of ayin hara involved. It should be miyadcha hamleya absucha. Let it come down through ashir pliny, but let it be holy. He's not davening for the lack of matana, for the lack of hava. I want it to be holy. I want it to be holy. So this is a, you don't always have a choice. This is a mazel. It's the Ata Dishmaya that you can get. But you know what? So the Marsha says in Sanhedrin, he says that he's seen with his own eyes that Batei Knesios and Batei Midrashos that were built with money of Gezel, Nechrav, they just go to pot. Nothing happens with them. And the ones that are built with Kedusha, Marsha says they go forever and ever. Nothing happens to those places. It's a hard one to swallow, but this is what we're. It's like like there's asbestos in the building. There's nothing what to do about it. Like there's gezel in the building. So there's a tefillah miyadcha hamleya hapsucha ha'kdosha. That's what he's davening. That's what he's davening. The Yad Hashem. He's davening to be a yedid. Davening to be a yedid. How the money comes, how the that's not the point. Just davening that the bracha should be from the rotzing, from the place of keser, and come all the way down to me. This is the kavan of Sandakois. Rabbi Tzuk is the Sandik today. So tachnun. He said tachnun.
I didn't know until later.
You don't say tachnun mincha. The whole shul doesn't say tachnun. But, if you're going to still be a Sandik, but can you daven here?
Huh?
I say tachnun on the day that I don't say tachnun. It's such a simcha. I have to say tachnun. The pshat is the tachnun is you put your head down on your yad, and you're davening that I should get the yad of bracha. Sandik in the room, so you're right away getting the bracha from Shemayim this way. The Yom Simcha Shalai. It's a Yom Simcha Shalai. It's a tremendous amount of simcha. I'm a yedid today. Today I'm a yedid. So that's pshat in the Gemara. And Kain Ti Alanu should be zeicha to the Shem Elokim Alanu, Shem Elokim. That it's the same thing, right? It's all over the place. By the way, once you know this Yesod, the secret of 4 and 1, which is Yad, which is the Yadayim, it's all over the place. You open any place in Tanakh and open any Gemara. Just quoted a few things. All over the place. Like Yehudim Haisa Oira, Simcha, Sasa, Kar.
The body is also clear, like the Esser spheres of the body. The hands are the only parts that can go from above and below.
Unless you do yoga. Yeah.
I guess we shouldn't do yoga.
Right, we should do yoga. Yeah, Ishbaz Amasha that the hands are the only thing.
There's a pose, a meditation pose like this. Okay?
That's what Rebel Yalap.
I'm saying in yoga, it doesn't have a shorish in
it might have a shorish in it, but the from yoga teachers don't.